news, scores, predictions. Sportz Blitz Live with your host, Brett Pritchard, Luke Robinson, and Randy Lee. Call 800-782-0108. Auburn.
45-50, 45, there goes Davis! Oh my God! Davis is going running all the way back!
Alabama.
38 pounds and 80 yards.
And the latest in high school sports.
Yes, he is! Touchdown!
It's Sportz Blitz Live now. Brought to you by S&S Discount Tire and JR's Sports Bar and Grill.
Well, good evening, everybody. I guess one of us was looking to take the lead here. I guess it'll be me. Welcome into Sportz Blitz Live. Luke Robinson along with Scott Hardy. Of course, it's Iron Bowl week. Everybody will be talking about that, and it's a big deal. So we'll discuss it. How about that? Is that all right with you?
It is a big deal, and I don't think that Randy made any mistakes in putting us two together in terms of our allegiances to both Auburn and Alabama, but looking forward for the next couple of hours. And as kind of what you were talking about a little bit before, and I'm sure you'll talk about this throughout the show, but the impact or the meaningfulness of this game, it's kind of lost its luster a little bit with Auburn's loss to Georgia, because now the stakes aren't as high. Alabama's going to the ACC championship more than likely. I mean, they're going to beat Auburn. Just kind of say that, but they're going to beat Auburn. So even with the loss in the ACC championship game, they're probably in the playoffs. So what are they playing for? Which helps Auburn, I think, though, on that end.
Really, I've thought about this a lot, and I think that is true, that the playoffs, an offshoot of the playoffs, an unfortunate one, is that games like the Iron Bowl can lose some meaning. If this were the BCS era, this game would still be ultra important to Alabama, because you couldn't afford to lose back then, especially this late in the season. Well, now we've seen Michigan go on the road and lose to a Iowa team, and it didn't even move them. So it's not a big issue. If Alabama were to lose to Auburn, that loss would certainly be better than Michigan's loss to Iowa. I would go so far as say if Alabama lost to Auburn, they still may be number one in the playoff rankings. Just because what are your alternatives? I think that, so in that sense, it does take a little shine off the Iron Bowl. Now, in the state, for bragging rights, it means as much as it ever did. For me personally, it's always going to mean a lot. But I will say I don't have the same angst about this game that I have for typical Iron Bowls. And I'm even going back to, say, 2012 when, look, that Auburn team was awful, and I was worried to death for kickoff just because I was thinking I just don't want to get Auburned. I mean, you can get Clemsoned. I don't want to be Auburned. And I certainly don't want that to happen this weekend. But, we'll get more into the game. There's a lot to talk about. Gus Malzahn still playing a lot of guessing games with who's in, who's out. He said today Cam Petway will be in, but he said his not being 100% is equal to some other people's being 100%, or some other coach speak that I can't frankly decipher. And Sean White, I would be willing to bet he's not going to play. He mentioned he threw some in practice, but again, with Gus Malzahn, you've got to take that with a grain of salt at this point. He did mention Chandler Cox will be back for the game. He looked pretty beat up and on crutches just about a week and a half ago, so I suspect it wouldn't be the same Chandler Cox. And then you got Trey Williams. And, of course, Alabama's got some guys banged up too. They had Cam Robinson have a shoulder stinger against Chattanooga, and they had Corin Curvin also, I believe, hurt his shoulder in that game. But Saban says both those guys will be fine. Who knows? I mean, they may go out there with a completely different lineup. Maybe Blake Barnett will make an appearance. He transferred back to Alabama. Who knows?
Well, and again, that is the thing. If you're a fan of the sport as a whole, obviously this is a big time. And I think 2013, obviously nobody on the Alabama side likes to talk about that. But from national prominence, this game always was kind of one of the top games, or considered it. But there was some conversation. That game, I think, elevated it and gave it the national prominence and recognition that we thought it deserved. And since then, this kind of intensified things, especially with the success of Alabama and the perceived success of what Auburn is having. So I think the pressure obviously is all on Alabama to win this game. But if you're an Auburn fan, you don't want to get blown out. I think that's the biggest fear at this point, is that Alabama doing what they've done in previous years, 36-0, 49-0, 49-14, whatever it may be. Those scores cannot happen Saturday, and I don't think that'll happen just based on purely the success of the defense that Auburn's had so far this season.
We'll talk a lot about the Iron Bowl tonight. Obviously, we can also talk state playoffs, some upsets this past weekend. I was shocked. The most shocking score to me was probably the way Ramsey held down Minor. I thought this Minor team, despite the fact that their kicking game is completely non-existent, had a shot to go play for a state championship. They certainly won't be there. Now you've got a team in Ramsey that could be there, and they may play somebody like Opelika. That'd be an interesting matchup that I don't think anybody would have predicted before the season started. Of course, you're going to have McGill-Tulane, the defending 7A state champs, taking on Hoover. That is always a classic matchup, and that will be a lot of fun down in Jordan-Hare Stadium. And then, of course, all the other lower classifications, they've got some big games down there as well. We're going to have a special guest on here in just a minute, Scott, player from the Dadeville High School football program, and he's going to be talking about his recruiting and how all that goes. Of course, we've had Nicole B. Maxwell on recently, and it's fun to get a sense of what these kids go through in recruiting cycles. I mean, you hear about your 5-stars all the time, and we keep up with those guys. Well, there's a whole nother group of players out there that don't get the same kind of national attention, but they have just as hard of choices to make out there. I mean, you're still deciding where you're going to spend the next 4 to 5 years of your life and where you're going to go to continue your education and continue your football career, hopefully. So I always find it fascinating. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, we'll take your phone calls if you'd like to call in, and we can talk all about the Iron Bowl. But, Scott, let's go ahead and take our first break. When we come back, you'll have a special guest.
Absolutely. More Sportz Blitz Live right after this.
Is our number one concern. Advanced Heat and Air.
Advanced Heating and Air makes your comfort their priority for any season. Advanced Heating and Air is the region's Trane dealer and an Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer that can save you money and energy with a new electric heat pump. Advanced Heating and Air maintains the region's best service team, so rely on us to make your comfort our number one concern. Call 234-5052, and we're there for you.
The Sure Shot, located on Highway 280 in Alexander City, is Lake Martin Sportsman's headquarters. In the market for a new rifle or shotgun? Come to the Sure Shot. Want a new bow or need to practice with the one you have? Come to the Sure Shot. Thinking about a firearm for self-defense? Come to the Sure Shot. Got a hunt planned and need some gear? Come to the Sure Shot. For all your archery, shooting, and hunting needs, let the Sure Shot be your first stop.
If your New Year's resolution is to stop walking and start riding, then resolve yourself to run to Lake Martin Truck and Auto on Old Dadeville Road. Lake Martin Truck and Auto is the bank, and you don't need to worry about past credit, getting your tax money, or finding the ride that suits you, because Lake Martin Truck and Auto has the lowest down payments and monthly payments in the area with the best selection. Don't let the Slick City dealer take all that tax money or hassle you with credit. Lake Martin Truck and Auto, Old Dadeville Road in Alex City.
If you're seeing the American cockroach, throw up the red flag. Ladybugs, throw up the red flag. Ants and swarming termites, throw up the red flag. And kudzu bugs, throw up the red flag. That's Red Flag Pest Control. So the caution is on. Call Red Flag Pest Control today.
I'm Scott Davis with Red Flag Pest Control, celebrating our 10th anniversary. Call me today, 256-825-0430.
Over the years, S&S Tire has grown into the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealer. S&S Tire offers the industry's best brand names: Michelin, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Firestone, and much, much more. The tire pros at S&S offer professional installation and the region's best price. In addition to your tire needs, S&S offers full automotive mechanical work for all your vehicle maintenance and repair needs with the area's most experienced staff. Visit either of our 2 locations on Cherokee Road in Alex City or at South Street in Dadeville. At S&S Tire, we're installing peace of mind for every customer we serve. Every job, every day.
Ready to put some fun in your life? Whether it's Central or East Alabama, North Alabama, West Georgia, or wherever you're from, Fun Carts of Opelika is your authorized easy-go cart dealer that has no limits on a perfect easy-go cart. Whether it's a fully customized cart or a stock-made cart, we'll deliver it on time and at the best price. Fun Carts gives you the service after the sale, so no matter if it's hunting, tailgating, motorhoming, fleet rental, or just a better way to get around, Fun Carts of Opelika has it and will customize it to your needs. Visit us in Opelika or call us or visit online online for the best easy-go carts. Put a little fun in your life with Fun Carts of Opelika.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Bice Motors in Alexander City. Brian and his crew offer the latest lines of Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram vehicles, as well as the best used inventory around. Guaranteed lowest price. Bice.
Welcome back, and thanks for joining us here on Sportz Blitz Live, presented to you by S&S Discount Tire. Scott Hardy here with a very special guest, Mr. Dave Tiger, Margaris Buchanan. Margaris, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So we were doing a little talking before you came on, kind of just getting a recap of kind of how the season went, both as a team and individually. So could you just give us a little insight as kind of how the season went? I know it wasn't as successful as you would have hoped, especially for your senior season, but can you give us a little recap of the season?
I feel like this season, we had our highs and we had our lows, but we kind of got back on the track toward the end of the season. I had a season in the injury, so that's never how you want your high school career to end. But I took a lot of positive out of this season to help me on the next level.
Yeah, and obviously anybody who knows the name Dave Tigers knows Coach Richard White. So I just wanted to, you had the opportunity to play for him for so long. What were your thoughts being a player of his?
Oh yeah, that's he had a major impact on my football career. He taught me a lot as a coach. As a whole, as a coach, he comes in every day. He's intense and he's ready to go to work. His age, he's on up in the age, but he hasn't lost no juice from my freshman year to my senior year. He's still the same guy, and he has this thing that he just makes an immediate impact on kids. He's able to take kids and be a guidance kind of, and that's big in our community and stuff like that. He's definitely been a very great mentor in my life.
Well, speaking of community, you guys were able to bring back one of your most well-known players in terms of success at Dable as well as in the collegiate level, and that was Kyle Caldwell's first year as offensive coordinator. What was it like with him? I know he was super excited to have you guys and have it as his first year. You being quarterback and playing multiple positions, you were really the burden of learning his offense and learning some of the things he wanted to do was on you. So what was that like this season?
Oh, it was good. It was great playing for a guy that you watch play. We hear stories of our other coaches because they're a little bit older, but I got to watch this guy play, so I know like his style of play, and he helped me a lot in the past game. Obviously, I won't play quarterback on the next level, but he taught me a lot. He's a very good coach, and he's gonna continue to get better as years progress. He's gonna continue to get better. He's a good coach. I'm looking forward to going back watching a little David Tiger football.
Absolutely. Well, we're here with Margaris Buchanan. I almost messed up the name there. But you talk about, again, Coach White and just some of these former coaches and come back and watching some of these or being able to watch Dable football. What does Dable Tiger football represent to the community of Dable itself?
Dable Tiger football is the community. The community loves. I don't know a community that comes out and support us like they do. Like everywhere we go, they're behind us 100%. Whatever the scoreboard is, they still in the stand. Whatever it reads, they're going to still be behind us. And that's what I love about Dable football. The community that's football. Everywhere you go, it's what we're going to do Friday, what we're going to do then. They love football in Dable. That's one thing I can say. They love football.
Well, Margaris, you did let me know, too, that you'll be participating in that. Is it the North-South game or is it the Alabama-Mississippi game?
It's actually it's a game out in Texas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a game out there out in Texas, and I think it's an IMG camp game, something like that.
Oh, okay. No, so, that's tremendous. So
yeah.
How did that process play? How were you let known that you'd be playing in the game, as well as what are your thoughts and anticipations of going out to Texas?
I look forward to it. I got a couple calls from different coaches, and they were like, "We're looking at you. You're good, and we want you to come out. We think this would be a good exposure for you." So I decided to play in that game, and I think it's I think it's in February, and I'm just looking forward to going out there. I've never been to Texas, so it'd be fun.
I got you. So you did bring up a couple of coaches contacting you, and obviously this is the time of the year where if you're a football player, this is when the recruiting process really starts to amp up a little bit. So could you give us a breakdown of kind of how things are going for you recruiting? And I don't know if you're allowed to say kind of who's contacting you or not, but kind of where things are at this point in your recruitment.
Oh, right now it's a wide open race. You know, I get calls. I probably get about 3 calls a week, and but mostly coaches are saying the same thing. They want me to play a little slot, possibly a little running back, but a lot of teams see me as punt returner and special team player. So you know, wherever I choose to go, I probably got like 16 different schools interested in me, but it's a lot. It's fun. I'm enjoying the moment, but right now it's in a dead period because, you know, like
that's true.
The coaches are focusing on ending their season high, and, you know, some coaches don't know if they're going to be there next year or if they're going to be gone. So, you know, so they can't really recruit you, but after the season, I'm looking forward to getting more calls and more visits and taking some officials.
Well, clearly everybody who's followed the David Tigers knows what type of athlete you are, and you were relaying to me that you're a multi-sport athlete as well. So taking a little hiatus in the time being to kind of get healthy, but also a member of the basketball team and track as well. So how did running track, we'll specifically use track, how did that help you on the football field?
Oh, it helped me a lot. Coach Milligan, man, she stayed on me. I actually came in my 10th grade year. I came in a little late after everybody else, but I was able to get a relay ring. I have a ring in track. So, you know, I like the track a lot, and, you know, it helps you with your core and how you run. You know, it helps you a lot. It's a lot of conditioning. So obviously a lot of conditioning helps you on the football field, you know. So that was able. Many times I carried the ball, you know, I had to be conditioned well.
Yeah, and again, lastly, in terms of your sports, you do play basketball as well. So what's the expectation level? Still early. I think nobody's played more than a couple games at this point for the high school level. So just kind of getting a feel for how you guys are supposed to be as a team and kind of what you're bringing to the table from a position standpoint.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna play a little point guard, but I think we got a strong chance. We got a pretty good, decent region, so we got to just we got to gel together as a whole because we got a lot of newcomers, and because we had a lot of seniors last year. I think we had like 8 seniors on the basketball team. That's a lot of guys. So we got to really just gel as a whole, and once we come together, I think we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Well, before we let you go, obviously you're only a few minutes down the road from Auburn, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're an Auburn fan. Auburn, Alabama this weekend. What's your thoughts on the game and who you pulling for?
Well, I'm kind of put in the bind. We got 3 alumni players that be playing in the game.
That's true.
1 at Auburn, 2 at Bama. And they all happen to be my cousins. So I think I might put on a crimson shirt and some blue jeans.
I got you. Well, that's probably going to be the winner. So I can't fault you there. But, Margaris, we've really enjoyed covering you the last couple of years and all the things you brought to the table on the football field, as well as being a standout individual within the Dable community and the Lake Martin region as a whole. So congratulations on all the success so far, and we're looking forward to catching up with you down the road, and maybe before the recruiting process is up, get a feel for you. Maybe you can make your announcement here.
Yeah, I like that.
Absolutely. Well, again, that's Margaris Buchanan, who is a member of the Dable Tiger football, basketball, and track team. So again, we appreciate him joining us. More of the Sportz Blitz. More Sportz Blitz Live, right after this.
For years, textile was king here, the backbone of our economy. But textile and all the jobs left. Our region was threatened. Then the nearby Hyundai plant opened. Local parts suppliers created thousands of good-paying jobs. Automotive is now the backbone of our economy, thanks to Hyundai. At Hyundai of Auburn this week, 0%, no payments for 6 months, $149 leases, and $4,000 cash back. Great cars built by our friends and neighbors. Hyundai of Auburn, you really should compare.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a 4-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you, central to your success.
Don't you know there's no clean like Peaches and Clean?
Wow, your carpets look fantastic.
Yeah, thanks to Peaches and Clean.
They look new again.
They also clean my kitchen tile.
Simply amazing. I'm calling Peaches and Clean today.
Just call 502-5326. Oh yeah, they have an area rug cleaning facility too.
Peaches and Clean is now expanded to the Alexander City Lake Martin Market. Give them a call at 334-502-5326.
Call us up at Peaches and Clean.
Get the best seat in the house for every game this football season. Upgrade that old recliner for the comfort of FlexSteel from Holly's Home Furnishings. Stunning styles, incredible comfort, and FlexSteel's signature blue steel construction. At Holly's Home Furnishings, we offer a variety of different fabric and leather options, plus state-of-the-art power recliners. Come in and score big today with Holly's Home Furnishings' unbeatable selection and unbelievable everyday prices. Family-owned and operated Holly's Home Furnishings, located in Alexander City and Montgomery.
You know, these Zaxby's fried pickles really take me back to Meemaw's kitchen.
Yeah, Meemaw really would have loved these. Is that a time machine?
Yep, and I brought Meemaw back with me.
That's not Meemaw.
Ooh, okay, let's get you back inside.
Better than Grandma's? Maybe. Indescribably good? Definitely. Fried pickles are back. Lightly breaded, fried to perfection, and served with ranch sauce. Try them before they're gone. Zaxby's.
Okay, anyone like coming in first place in everything that matters? Introducing the all-new 2017 Ford Super Duty, the only high-strength, military-grade, aluminum alloy body, heavy-duty pickup. It takes first place in every measure of tough. Best-in-class towing, best-in-class payload, best-in-class horsepower, and best-in-class torque. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. This is the next level. This is the all-new Ford Super Duty.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Dark Insurance, offering insurance for all your personal needs, including auto, boat, homeowners, and disability. Don't be in the dark. Call Dark Insurance at 256-234-5026.
Welcome back into Sportz Blitz Live, Scott. That was cool.
Yeah.
It is cool to get the perspective of some of these guys that will be going to play somewhere, and they just don't maybe get the national or even regional attention of some of the bigger names. But Margarius Buchanan can ball.
Yeah, he's. I've seen him play some basketball as well. He's as he said, he's playing from the point, and he's definitely got some hops. Really a tremendous athlete, and he'll be used somewhere along the line. So we're looking forward to catching up with him as well as the rest of our region recruits as well.
Okay, let's go ahead and go into our Players of the Week. And the first, we'll start off with our Central State Bank Player of the Week, and that's J.R. Tran Reno from Briarwood Christian School. He ran 24 times for 161 yards and a touchdown as the Lions advanced to the 5A semis with a 15-0 win over Mortimer Jordan. Of course, that's the Shelby County Player of the Week.
And we'll transition over to the Alabama National Guard East Alabama Player of the Week, Malik Lyons from Chambers Academy. He finished with 242 yards and 4 touchdowns on 29 carries, and the Rebels lost in the AISA Class A final.
The Lee Marketing Group Montgomery Area Player of the Week is Jake Lane from Park Crossing High School. He hit the game-winning 41-yard field goal as time expired to send the Thunderbirds to the 6A semis with a 54-50 win over Blount. I just couldn't believe that score and write-up when I saw it. Just Malik Cunningham going up against Kadarius Toney, 2 guys that will be playing and making big waves next year in the college level.
All right, we'll move over to the Alabama National Guard Lee County Player of the Week. LaDamian Webb, consistent player, you can name him every week, from Beauregard High School, in a 56-21 win over previously undefeated Carroll. Webb had 22 carries for 190 yards and 6 touchdowns.
You know, the thing I love about LaDainian Webb is we just get to keep that graphic up. We don't have to go look for new graphics because we do have him on here about every week. The Alabama National Guard Lake Martin Area Player of the Week is LaHope Westbrooks from Benjamin Russell High School. The sophomore led the Lady Wildcats to a season-opening victory over Jeff Davis with 17 points.
And the Lyman Ward Military Academy AISA Player of the Week is Thomas Sims from Bessemer Academy. Rushed for 169 yards and 3 scores as Bessemer Academy defeated Monroe Academy 28-7 to its second straight Class 3A title.
And then finally, the Russell Building Supply Russell Do-It Center AHSAA Radio Network Player of the Week is Carlos Rogers from Winona High School. They may have pulled off the shock of the weekend last weekend when Winona defeated Scottsboro. Carlos completed 10 of 17 passes for 341 yards and 6 touchdowns as he led his Dragons over the number 1 ranked Scottsboro team 49-21. What an incredible accomplishment. I think everybody had pinned in Scottsboro to be in Jordan-Hare Stadium. Of course, they're led by Bo Nix, the son of Pat Nix, who spent a lot of time in Jordan-Hare, quarterback in the Tigers. So a lot of people thought that's where it would wind up. Want to congratulate all of our players of the week. Fabulous job by you guys, and look forward to naming 8 more players of the week next week as the semifinals will be wrapping up this weekend. And then next week we're going to be in Auburn, Alabama for the state championships.
Yeah, I'm extremely thrilled to have it back in Jordan-Hare. It's a little easier to maneuver for me to get to watch these games. And I can't believe that Matt and I were talking. You can confirm, is this the 10th year we've been involved?
Believe it's the 10th year.
10th year, man. That's crazy.
You know, I know that we've been doing this at least as long as they've been going back and forth between Alabama and Auburn, and even before that, because I want to say it was 2008 Florida-Alabama SEC championship game, and they played 3 of these games in Legion Field on the day of that. And that in 2009 they decided, you know what?
Because y'all got good again.
Yeah, we got good. They said, well, you know what, though? It is better. I mean, come on. It is better to go between Jordan-Hare Stadium and Bryant-Denny than it is to go to Legion Field. No offense to Legion Field, but I think even Mr. Legion would agree that it is better to go to Tuscaloosa and Auburn and let these kids get a shot to play in these 2 incredible venues, right?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. The thing I'll always remember about our first year covering it, which was the 2008 year, was that was my 21st birthday weekend. And I can remember like me trying to reevaluate my decision making on whether or not I should have been covering those games. I remember your brother was just making jokes. He said, you spent your 21st birthday with us. And so that's what I did. So
at Legion Field.
At Legion Field. So shout out to Legion Field. But you're right. That is kind of funny, though, the correlation of Alabama's success and the immediate change to the format of the scheduling. But it does make more sense to allow most of these patrons to be able to go over to Atlanta.
Yeah, and it's a lot more fun, and adding 7A has only added the drama. At first, I'll be honest, I was concerned about 7A's being first, and would that sort of take the shine off the next 2 days? And it hadn't at all. 7A just gets its own thing. There are fewer teams in the classification, so that's why they do it this way. Gets its own thing on Wednesday night, and then 1A, 3A, 5A on Thursday, 2A, 4A, 6A on Friday, and it's just as much fun as it ever was.
Yeah, and again, we're looking forward to it. And I know you brought up a team like Opelika who will take on Park Crossings after a big win against Blount. This Opelika team, this could be the year. If you can go to Spanish Fort and win, I almost have to pencil you in to at least play for the state championship. Now, whether or not you win it or not against maybe Ramsey potentially, or that's who it'll probably be is Ramsey. But I think this is the first time in a long time that I'll be pulling for Opelika.
It feels like Park Crossing Opelika is for the state championship. It feels that way. Of course, you say that, and I've said that before, and then the team from the other side of the bracket blows whoever I thought would be the favorite away later on. But, wouldn't it have been something? And Opelika is as good as they can be just the way they are. But wouldn't it have been something if Jake Bentley were still at Opelika and it'd be Jake Bentley taking on Malik Cunningham from Park Crossing? And so Malik Cunningham would have gone up against Kadarius Toney, who's headed to Florida, and then Jake Bentley, who obviously probably would have wound up at South Carolina regardless. But man, that would have been what a battle.
I forget how good they've been doing without him. I mean, you look on Saturday and you're watching a kid who would have been the starting quarterback this season for them. And so that, for them to have, offensively at least, they haven't had a drop-off in terms of the play, especially Coach Blackman's son, I think, is the quarterback for that team. So he's only a sophomore, so they'll be able to be around for a little while.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take another break, Scott. When we come back, we'll jump into some Iron Bowl talk, and we'll take your phone calls. If you'd like to call in, please do. We'd love to hear from you out there. We're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll be back in just a minute with more Sportz Blitz Live.
Yeah, Jess, thank you, bud.
If you've been putting off that new heating and air unit in your home because of the upfront expenses, Williams Plumbing of Alexander City now has primary financing from Synchrony and can now install brand new heating and cooling systems with zero down, longer terms, and a competitive rate. Call Williams Plumbing at 256-329-8488 and get a free quote and terms and upgrade up to $35,000 in work with approved credit. Williams Plumbing stands behind their work with on-time affordable service for all your heating and air needs, as well as plumbing for zero down financing and great service. Williams Plumbing.
Auburn Opelika has that perfect something for you. From sophisticated chic boutiques to exceptional dining, there's a retailer or restaurant to make your next visit special. Whether it's elegant fine dining or freshly squeezed lemonade, you'll find the perfect fit for every taste and budget. The food's great and the shopping is too, so be sure to check out the wide array of gifts, decor, clothing, and more. For every occasion, Auburn Opelika has what you're looking for. Let's make your next trip memorable. Visit Auburn Opelika.
At U.S. Ameribank, there's something very different at the heart of what we do and who we are. It's a spirit that also defines our neighbors, local businesses, and communities. Building on our 116-year history in Alabama, U.S. Ameribank provides something found nowhere else: craft banking. It's an unwavering commitment to handcrafted banking solutions that turns customers into enthusiastic fans. Visit usameribank.com or your local branch to discover the U.S. Ameribank difference. U.S. Ameribank, banking on values. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
No pest is too big or too small for Lex Wedgeworth Pest Control. Protect your home or business today from insects, termites, mosquitoes, and more. Lex uses the latest state-of-the-art technology and equipment to solve your pest problem, including the environmentally friendly Centricon termite baiting system. Lex has been servicing the Lake Martin area for over 35 years and has a full staff on hand. Call Lex today, even if it's just a question, at 256-234-6162. Lex Wedgeworth Pest Control. Smart solutions to your pest problems.
Russell Do It Center and Russell Building Supply is locally owned and operated with over 30 years experience providing a wide array of lumber, building materials, hardware, electrical and plumbing supplies, paint, tools, and garden products. Our employees' superior product knowledge and top-notch customer service allows us to help select the best products that will work for you. We provide free product estimates and takeoffs, free local delivery, and ask about our price match promise. Russell Do It Center and Russell Building Supply. Experience and knowledge from the pros.
This Black Friday is going to be big. Get game-busting deals all month long during the Black Friday sales event at Bice Motors.
Award-winning vehicles, hard-hitting savings.
BiceChryslerDodge.com. This is the sale you've been waiting for. Score big and save all month long during the Black Friday sales event at Bice Motors.
Be a winner. Buy it from Bice.
Come see us in Alex City.
Welcome back into Sportz Blitz Live. Luke Robinson, Scott Hardy. Scott wanted to talk about something. What separates the Iron Bowl from the big game, Michigan, Ohio State, or the Red River rivalry or Red River shootout, depending on how far back you want to go with this thing, or some of the other, what's the Georgia Tech, good old-fashioned hate?
What's Florida State, Florida? What is that? Just
that's the Jordan Bowl, isn't it?
Touche.
But
Touche.
Okay, so what separates them to me is I think with Alabama and Auburn, it really is this, for the longest time, this is what this state has had to lean on. Alabama's had some troubling times in the past, and I think that football has always been something that the state could be proud of, whether it was Auburn doing well or Alabama doing well. And I think Bear Bryant had a lot to do with that. But Alabama and Auburn hated each other before Bear got there. I mean, they weren't great friends before that. So, and then as football just got bigger nationally, this rivalry just got kicked up a notch. And I was thinking about Michigan, Ohio State, and that game always starts at 11 o'clock. Can you imagine the Iron Bowl starting at 11 o'clock ever under any circumstance?
2009, didn't it start kind of early?
2009 was 2:30 CBS. That was Alabama was.
It was 2:30. For some reason, I was thinking it was early.
No, it was on CBS. I mean, you name the game, I can tell you what station.
No, it wasn't that. I just, because we were playing on Friday. Maybe that's just.
Now we've done,
played on Friday.
we've done the ESPN thing.
Those Friday games were at 2:30.
They would be really? Now they might have been at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, like Arkansas.
Thinking, yeah, okay. For some reason, I was thinking that that time period that we played earlier for some reason.
But I can't imagine Alabama and Auburn playing at 11 o'clock. And I know that's what Michigan, Ohio State do. But I also think the fact that we're in the same state, I think to be a real rivalry, not I'm looking for a hate-filled rivalry. You need to be in the same state. I believe that adds to it. Georgia Tech, Alabama, Auburn, Florida State. I think those being in the same state adds a lot to it. Michigan and Ohio State, you don't necessarily have to see anybody. And also, it's different because everybody in Ohio State is for Ohio State. Everybody in Ohio is for Ohio State. It's a different atmosphere up there, and it is more pro-oriented, it feels like. When I've been to Columbus several times, my kids still live up there, and I go up there all the time, and it's a different atmosphere. It doesn't feel like a college town. I know it can have a college feel on campus, but even then, they've got so many undergrad students, it's ridiculous. So I think Alabama-Auburn is the better rivalry. I think nationally, people are always going to say Ohio State versus Michigan.
I think that was more so what I was going.
But I think if they ever came to a game, to the Iron Bowl, that would stop quickly. They'd understand that it's just different. You don't know about electricity till you've been in one of those games, and that's very good and competitive, and just the atmosphere of it all.
I'll even say, like listening to you talk about it, I think what separates it honestly are not necessarily game day, but the other 364 days of the year. Yeah. I think that's probably like the intensity that each fan base displays. I mean, you can talk about Auburn versus Alabama every day of the week. There's going to be a conversation sparked, an argument had, a fight to be had, or something along those lines every day of the week or every day of the year. You can talk about that, and I'm not sure that correlates across the country. But I mean, people that hate Michigan, they hate Michigan or they hate Ohio State. But you're right. If you don't have to necessarily have consistent conversation or running ends of these people, then it kind of desensitizes, I think, a little bit of what the game actually means. Not to take anything away, I just think because of a lot of their national prominence. Both schools have such national prominence that I think that there's an elitist kind of standpoint to that game as well, possibly. So I think that's where you get a lot of that as well. But you're right. I think if you haven't been to an Auburn-Alabama game, then I think it's hard for you to justifiably not say that it's not the best.
Yeah, and again, I've never been to an Ohio State-Michigan game either. So, I mean, maybe if I went to one of those, it would be different. But, I've been through the Birmingham when it was 50-50 deal. I was at the first game in Auburn, at the first game in Tuscaloosa, at the games in Birmingham when they decided to switch up the crowds and do. So I mean, we've kind of done it all, and I just think it's the best rivalry there is, and I think it's undeniable based on the last, I don't know, at least since 2009, where at least one of those two teams has been involved with a national championship race every single year, and sometimes both of them. So I just feel like it's the more now it's the national importance has caught up with the regional hatred. I think is something that has made the rivalry even better.
So you equate it to me good.
Scott, so let's talk about this game a little bit. What do you think Auburn has to do? Now, first of all, do you believe Cam Petway will play? Do you believe he's healthy? What do you know about that situation?
From everyone I've talked to, the likelihood of him playing is high, but it's just in terms of amount of plays and touches. The initial thing was maybe 20, 25 plays, not even touches. So that alters a lot of things. But I think for Auburn to have any chance, minimum 15 touches I think you would need for Cam Petway. But outside of that, I think in terms of an Auburn victory, or at least Auburn being competitive throughout the game, I think it's going to rely on the defense, and which has been how Auburn has been as successful as they have been all year. I think this could be very similar. We talked about it at the 6 to 7 show. Very similar to LSU, Alabama in terms of the low scoring, at least for the opposing team, the team playing Alabama. I'm not going to say that they're going to put a lot of points, but I think that Auburn is talented enough defensively to hold Alabama to 3 touchdowns.
And I think you're right there. I do. Especially I think that Jalen Hurts seems to have hit the proverbial wall. He looked a little out of sorts. He had 3 touchdowns, 136 yards passing, and broke the rushing record, whatever. But still, he looked a little out of sorts, I thought, Saturday. The whole team did, though, so maybe it's unfair to just pick on him. But I think as you judge a quarterback, you judge the team. So, and I'm going to take a different angle on this. Petway, to me, isn't the issue. He's just not. I think Petway's a very good back. I don't think he's gosh, you hate to say I don't think he's a special. I don't think he's in Leonard Fournette's area code. No. I don't think he's in Darius Geis's area code. I think Darius Geis may be the second best running back in the SEC. I think Petway's a good back.
Production
very
and talent
solid
are always
back.
the same thing.
Exactly. And I think that, can you imagine Leonard Fournette getting all the running lanes that Cam Petway has gotten? Can you imagine Darius Geis getting those? Now, having said that, I think that the issue for Auburn is not Cam Petway's injury. I think it's Sean White's injury. The thing that has scared me all year long hadn't been Petway, it's been Sean White. He is deadly accurate when he's on, and everybody says, well, what about Georgia? Obviously, the kid was hurt against Georgia. He was not himself. I've never seen him look that bad. And I think that it was just plain as day that Sean White was hurt. And those, to me, are the kind of guys that beat Alabama. It starts and ends with the quarterback if you want to beat Alabama. I don't know of a running back. I guess you could make the argument Ezekiel Elliott, he had a good game, but that was bolstered by the fact he had a long, late touchdown.
Trey Mason put up some yards.
Trey Mason put up some yards. He was certainly not the reason they won that game.
Okay, I got you.
He had a pretty nice game. I would say there was a litany of things you could talk about. TJ Yeldon not getting the 4th and 1, the bad field goal kicking from Alabama. And again, that's going to be another situation this weekend. Alabama, their field goal kicking is completely nebulous. You don't know what is going to happen. Alabama sent Papanastos out there to kick a field goal this past week, and he made it. Good for him. And J.K. Scott to do kickoffs. How hurt is Adam Griffith? What do we know about this? Was this just to get some other people practice? What's the deal here? Meanwhile, Auburn's got Legatron. I think he should win the Lou Groza Award. I think he is the best kicker in the country. And if you cross the 38-yard line, Auburn's got a field goal in their back pocket. So I think that's what separates these two. Alabama is going to probably have to go for it more on 4th or rely on J.K. Scott as a punter. I think J.K. Scott happens to be the best punter in the country. But, it's scary to think Alabama could be leaving points off because of field goal kicking again when it has haunted us so many times in the past.
How does that happen? And which I know you can't necessarily, kickers – for the most part, are probably hit or miss. A guy could be a 5-star kid or whatever, big-time kicker, and it just not pan out. You're seeing it on the professional level now. Some people wasting 3rd and 2nd round draft picks on kickers and not panning out. But for a weakness to be specific to a team for a consistent amount of time, how has that happened?
I don't know. And Adam Griffith was certainly highly regarded. I go back to, I wonder how much of some of this is about the kick six and the fact that he was trotted out there and maybe he wasn't completely even healthy then, but he wasn't even the main kicker, people forget that. He was not the kicker for Alabama. Cade Foster was. Cade Foster had just been so bad in that game, Alabama didn't feel like they could use him. I go back to our producer, Justin Clayton, texted me just before the kick and said, y'all are going to make this. I said, this has a much better chance of being blocked in return. It just wasn't blocked. It was still returned. I couldn't believe that Alabama made that decision. I thought a Hail Mary was certainly a much better call. But, it is one of those things that's been the Achilles heel. Now, if you compare Adam Griffith's career stats to somebody like a Van Tiffen or a Michael Proctor, I think they're very comparable. Mm-hmm. The problem is that his missed kicks and the fact that he's associated with the kick six is so memorable that people just can't get that out of their heads, and including me. It's just going to be hard to do that. And then kickers it's the putting of football, where you can get the yips, and then it's just you can't get it back. And I worry that that's exactly what he's got. So, the good news for Alabama is maybe they do go for it more on 4th and 2 and 4th and 3, and you got a guy like Jalen Hurts that gives you a dual threat, and maybe that's a helpful thing. I don't know. But having said that, Auburn's got an incredible kicker, and I think they can put 3 points on the board. All they got to do is get to the 38, and you got 3.
Well, let me ask you this. I'm listening about the kick six, and obviously right now that is the play that kind of defines this rivalry right now. Not the records, whatever, but right now that's the play. If you hear Iron Bowl, that's the play that comes to your mind. Comeback, kind of you had that for a little bit, maybe the sack game, but in terms of just from Alabama's perspective, is that like punt Bama punt? How long did that go on before, or people still use that? How long did that happen before people just didn't say it for a little bit?
I don't know, because Punt Bama Punt was 72, and I was born in 72. So I know that I was seeing Punt Bama Punt bumper stickers for a long time, when I was cognizant of what was the Iron Bowl was. So, it was several years down the road. And that's something we've talked about on this show before, is that Auburn's wins, for whatever reason, except for the Van Tiffen kick, are generally more memorable. Now, is it more memorable because they're the ones doing the upsetting? Is it more memorable just for the way they ended? I think it's a little bit of both. The kick six would be remembered just about any time, and because I'm really going to kind of remember Houston and Oklahoma's kick six from earlier this year. But those things will start happening more and more.
Or Bow of the Top, or just any of the. I was just, it just seems like that's probably not going to go. It's just now really where I won't bring it up. I won't bring it up, and I was just trying to think how.
It's one of those things that I think is out there, and now I see it all the time because it is included in most when people talk about college football and getting ready for it. That highlight's always up there, and I'm like, you know what? In a sense, I think it's more respect to Alabama because all of Alabama's losses since 2008 are memorable.
I'm going to say.
You can rattle them off. And I think in a way it is respectful type thing. When you think Stephen Garcia, what do you think?
Oh, South Carolina beating Alabama.
That's
I'm sick of it.
Is that right or wrong?
Just be, it's always going to be and I can't fight it. I really can't.
You'd be wrong.
Yeah, I just don't want to because I don't feel like it today. But I'm just saying, I do get what you're saying. And so that is, I can't remember who.
When you think Johnny Manziel, what do you think?
Think about him beating Alabama.
When they show a Johnny Manziel highlight, you know what the highlight is? Him bobbling that ball and then running around and then finding a wide open receiver. That's what they show because each time somebody beats Alabama, it's a big deal now. And that's I'll tell you.
Yeah, let's go to break.
Nah, we ain't going to break yet. But I'm going to tell you something. I was thinking about this with Notre Dame, for instance. And by the way, Notre Dame just got destroyed today, having to forfeit all of 2012 and 2013. I think they're hoping that it also included wiping that 2012 BCS game off the map. But you look at what's going on at Notre Dame. They're 4-7 or 4-8, and it just reminds me how hard it is to be consistently good. It's really, really hard. And Alabama's been as consistently good as we can possibly be, and I keep saying this to Alabama fans, enjoy it. It's going to end someday. I just don't know when, but it's been a pretty fun ride. So I'm going to keep milking this cow, and if y'all ever do something like this, when I'm 106 or whatever, I'll come up here and you can give me heck about it.
See, the problem with Auburn and what happened, and we can talk about it in the second hour or two, but the thing
that's the sign of somebody waving the white flag, people.
Is that the only consistency really in terms of winning that Auburn had, now granted they were averaging 9-10 wins a year under Tuberville in that realm, but the consistency was beating Alabama, but not necessarily national prominence. So Alabama can give a 2010, 2013 if it means they're going to go 4 out of 7. Mm-hmm. So that's and I don't know, that's more so the mindset of the fan base too, that some of that has to plays into that as well. We're beating Alabama because of the success of Alabama, beating them so many times in a row, or just beating Alabama in general has been a staple mark or been a benchmark for the season. If you beat them, then you were successful. So I think whenever that happens, and it's not going to happen anytime soon because of how successful y'all are, now you've made the parameters of what a program is now is Alabama or your Ohio State. There's only 2 programs that are, or another program that's comparable to Alabama, that's Ohio State. But outside of that, it's unfair, and it's really unfair as a fan to hold your team to the same standard as Alabama. Like Auburn winning 8 games this year, possibly 9 with a bowl win, tremendous with the expectations preseason that you had. So the same thing for these other programs. I think that there's so many teams now that are looking at their program like they're Alabama. Mm-hmm. LSU is not Alabama.
I totally agree, and in fact, LSU forgets very quickly where they were pre-Saban. Right?
Let's go.
We'll come back and talk about this in just a minute. We'll be back with more Sportz Blitz Live.
Got your eye on a new Nissan? It's time to zero in on huge savings at Lynch Nissan of Auburn. 0% financing is back in a big way on many of your favorite Nissan models, but only for a limited time. Buy today and save up to $11,000 off MSRP on remaining 2016s as we make room for the 2017s. Get up to $7,000 off MSRP on the new Altima SL or 0% for 72 months. Just click it and pick it now at lynchnissan.com. Lynch Nissan of Auburn, I-85 at exit 51.
So, you may not know it, but you've seen our work everywhere. For a combined 50 years, SignSource has been Central Alabama's premier option for all your sign needs. Custom signs for your business, club, or organization. Wraps and decals for your vehicle or boat. Full-color banners for your big sale, or a photo collage on canvas for grandma. All with fast, friendly, prompt service. Check out our website at signsourcenow.com. 888-533-6758. Go straight to the source. SignSource.
Lyman Ward Military Academy in Camp Hill, Alabama, known worldwide for programs and outstanding facilities designed to prepare young men for future success. Young men who are academically prepared for a rapidly evolving economy, morally prepared through character development and spiritual guidance, physically challenged by preparing for athletic competition, and prepared to be leaders in their careers through the structure of military discipline. Lyman Ward Military Academy, over a century of preparing youth for the work of life.
I'm attorney Dane Sharp. Here at my office, we want to be different than the big city billboard lawyers. We want to give your case the personal attention that it deserves. We handle auto accidents, tractor-trailer accidents, and other cases where our clients have been injured and need personal legal attention. To me and my staff, you will not just be another number on the case file, and we will return your phone calls. So if you've been injured, give me a call today or visit us on our website.
What value would you gain working with Lee Marketing Group? With 4 divisions under one umbrella, SignSource, Lee Apparel, R&B Media, and LMG Baker Advertising Agency, Lee Marketing Group offers a comprehensive approach. From logo design and branding to ad placement and everything in between, LMG can handle it all. For ease of time, cutting-edge, results-driven marketing campaigns, think LMG. Lee Marketing Group, your comprehensive marketing solution.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Satterfield on Highway 280 in Alec City. Satterfield is the Lake Martin area's Big Green Egg and Accessories headquarters.
Welcome back into Sportz Blitz Live. You know, I went off talking about Adam Griffith and how his stats compare to some other guys like Van Tiffin, Michael Proctor, whatever, that are Alabama icons. And you know what, Scott, I was right. Adam Griffith was at 66.7% for his career, okay? And he's been kicking now. Well, that's only through 2015, but still, I think that's about where he is right now. Van Tiffin, Alabama icon. Daniel Moore, subject of a print. All these things. The kick hero. He was 67% for his career. I would have thought he was 110%. I mean, it seems like Van Tiffin, we built these guys up in our minds. You know, you forget, you go back and you think about Bo Jackson and you say, oh, he probably averaged 250 yards a game. I mean, Bo Jackson had some bad years. He's not Auburn's all-time leading rusher, I don't think, is he?
Nah,
I mean, he had some bad games, not bad years. He had some bad games. But Lee Tiffin had a better career field goal percentage than Michael Proctor. Who would have guessed that? I mean, when Michael Proctor was in school with me at Alabama, and I just remember him making everything he ever kicked. I don't remember a miss. Conversely, and also, this is kind of funny to me, Jeremy Shelley holds the single season mark with 100%, which I guess was it 1 of 1? That was 2012 season. It couldn't have been that many field goals. Meanwhile, for the Auburn side, Daniel Carlson, no surprise, holds the career field goal percentage leader with 80.4%. And again, it's hard to believe that he's only at 80.4%. I think we talked about I know he missed one this year, and I think he had another one blocked. So maybe he's had 2 missed this year, but he's absolutely phenomenal. But it's just funny how time erases either something good or something bad for a player, depending on their biggest moment. That's what you're going to remember them by. Van Tiffin, I don't remember. I just remember him being an All-American. That's all I remember. And honestly, his career field goal percentage of 67 is right there with Adam Griffith. But it's the ones you miss and when you miss them that define you as a kicker.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about where in certain areas where Auburn really could maybe claim some like significance over Alabama. That may be the one position, the only position really that we can say that we're just better.
Maybe. I don't know.
Even with the numbers, even looking at the numbers, like.
But you're looking at the numbers. You know, look at it. Tell me. I mean, Michael Proctor was pretty good. He was a money kicker.
Shelley was not. I don't know how he was 80% correct.
I agree. Listen, I'm with you on that one. He was 100%. I have to see more about this. I need to investigate that one. As they say, it's an ongoing investigation. But you know, Lee Tiffin, he was a really good kicker. I don't remember his being in the same area code as Van Tiffin, but for whatever reason, his career field goal percentage is much better, and he did kick for some national championship teams.
No, I'm just saying, like, well, I mean, you couldn't give me one. All I said was kicker. It wasn't like I said quarterback or linebacker or running back. I said kicker. But no, I mean, that again, like, it goes back to this rivalry, like, even in a joking manner, like, there's so many aspects and storylines that you can choose from, what makes you an Auburn, Alabama fan. I do like to hear that sometimes from people. It's like, how did you actually accumulate this fandom? And for me, I think I've probably been one of the more wishy-washy people in terms of my allegiance to both. I'm a strong supporter.
At least you can admit it. That's the
now,
good
well, I mean,
that's the first step.
It was just growing up. I'll tell you what, you talk about Patrick Nix, and that was the first Auburn quarterback. Obviously, I knew about Stan White, but that was the first Auburn quarterback that I could remember during the time period when I kind of knew football and we were starting to develop a relationship, me and football, and obviously my dad introduced me. And so that was the Stephen Davis years, and that was my favorite Auburn player ever, still is, outside of Cam, obviously. But Stephen Davis is my favorite player. But going down through, like, in the college years, and we got Swole Graveman out here with us, I was as bad as Bama as you could get without actually saying Roll Tide. So, like that, I like the culture. That's usually the separation factor in Auburn, Alabama people. Most Auburn people can't stand Tuscaloosa. They hate it. I was the complete opposite. I loved Tuscaloosa, but it doesn't really equate to me being a fan. But then I get out here and do shows like you and Adam, and then I'm like, man, there's no way I could be. Now this is why I'm not an Alabama fan. I do think you're right. There's so many. Look,
there are a lot of bad traits for Alabama fans, and there are a lot of bad traits for Auburn fans, and I think we could nitpick them all. Unfortunately, Alabama fans are going to be defined by people like Harvey Updike sometimes, and I just that was as bad to me. I mean, you'll make a joke about it occasionally, but at the same time, it's just don't do that. Don't. Why would you do that? I mean, I feel the same way about the German guy who just burned the trees. I mean, what are you doing? Why would you do that? I mean, what's your goal there? But I'm also not one to put jerseys on statues. I'm not one to chalk on Chimney Rock. I mean, I just look at it like just talk about it. You don't have to. I'm not one to put 72 bumper stickers on my car. I don't. That's just me. I think you can sit out here and talk about it and have fun with it. I think the other things define Alabama and Auburn fans really. I think Alabama fans love to complain about the starting quarterback, and I think Auburn fans love to complain about the officials.
I knew that was coming.
That's I think we will. Whoever our starter is, Alabama fans are going to complain about it. I remember vividly being in college, and nobody could stand Jay Barker. Could not stand him. And all Alabama did was win every game. And all I could hear was, Brian Bergdorf, if we could just ever put him in. If we had ever put him in, I can't tell you how bad it would have been. And then meanwhile, if you ever listen to an Auburn broadcast, and if you listen to 5 minutes of Stan White, and he doesn't say they missed a hold right there 6 times, it will be first. Am I wrong? Tell me if I'm wrong.
Tell
me if I'm wrong on either count.
That's a blanket statement, but for the most part, I think it applies. It does apply. We're getting in trouble, man. You made Justin mad because it thinks that was an indictment of him. You know.
Yeah, it is. But Justin is case in point. Justin will complain about the officials when Auburn wins. That is just the way that some Auburn mindsets are geared. Just like Alabama fans will complain about the quarterback. I've never understood. There were people in the stands Saturday complaining about Jalen Hurts, sitting right behind me. And I'm thinking, what are y'all doing? This guy's he's a true freshman. He's doing all he can. What do you want him to do? It's not always his fault. So anyway, I think there are a lot of little differences out there like that, and that just make it fun. I remember being at the Auburn game in 2001 in Jordan-Hare Stadium. And Alabama was a pretty big underdog. Andrew Zhao leads the team, and Alabama wins 31-7. The game was, I want to say it was tied at 7-7 going into half, or maybe Alabama up 14-7. And then Alabama ran one of those smoke draw plays on a 3rd and 21 and got 22 yards with Ahmad Galloway, and that kind of salted the game away. Oh man, there was Sean Bohannon had a big game. And there were just a lot of big moments in that game.
The only thing I remember.
But I remember sitting in the stands waiting on everybody to sing Rammer Jammer and do all that. And I remember there was a group of Auburn people that just kept singing, "It's great to be an Auburn Tiger." And they had tears running down their face, and they were shaking their shakers. And I was like, God, 31-7, I would have left a long time ago. And I'm not sure if I respect them or if I think they're crazy. Because I can tell you right now, if it's 31-7 and I'm losing to my arch rival, I'm beating the traffic, man.
Yeah,
yes or no? You beat the traffic, you stay there and.
No, I left 36-0, 49-0, 49. I mean, I've been around them where it's been pretty tough.
But you didn't stay the whole game.
No.
That'd be crazy, right?
No, it would be. But I can respect somebody's passion.
I can too.
Not really. I'd laugh at them.
Well, I would laugh at them. I would respect them in the sense I'd be like, I wish that I had that much gumption about me. I don't.
Before we go, that 31-7 you said? Mm-hmm. I can only think about that game I really remember. I was still kind of young, but I remember Andrew Zhao being like on his knee almost and throwing some pass. Like it was toward the
Jason McCadley.
Yes. Okay. That was when I was like, okay, I kind of like Andrew Zhao. And in the second half of the show, I will tell you again, this is a perfect time for me to bring up my Andrew Zhao story and how I catfished somebody thinking I was.
You catfished Andrew Zhao?
Not in a social media setting, but we told some people I was Andrew Zhao during the Sugar Bowl in 2008. 9. Whenever y'all played Utah. So that was just a good time all the way around. So that'll be a good story time for you guys.
All right, we'll be back in just a minute with more Sportz Blitz Live.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
At U.S. Ameribank, there's something very different at the heart of what we do and who we are. It's a spirit that also defines our neighbors, local businesses, and communities. Building on our 116-year history in Alabama, U.S. Ameribank provides something found nowhere else: craft banking. It's an unwavering commitment to handcrafted banking solutions that turns customers.
I'm State Farm Agent Karen Chanel. I specialize in helping families and individuals like yourself in the Alexander City and Lake Martin communities. With over 20 years experience with State Farm and a dynamic team of licensed professionals, I am committed to helping you manage the risk of everyday life. And we not only consider it an honor, but a privilege to assist you in meeting your insurance and financial services needs. Whether you call in, click in, or walk in, I sincerely look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Jackson Refrigeration is Central East Alabama's Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer. With rapid response time and on-budget pricing, we're Central East Alabama's and the area's authorized Goodman heating and air dealer. We make your peace of mind easy and give you peace of mind when it comes to your heating and air needs. As a Superior Solutions dealer, Jackson Refrigeration can help save you money and energy with a new electric heat pump. Jackson Refrigeration works on all existing brands and units and has the team to solve your heating and cooling needs, no matter the season.
And I know when I need it, I can count on you. Like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh.
You can count on the caring team at Brown Nursing and Rehabilitation. Our services include physical, speech, and occupational therapy. Brown Nursing and Rehabilitation, 256-329-9061.
In a world that's ever-changing, you have to be sure that your choices are the right choices. At Central Alabama Community College, you'll know you made the best choice. Whether choosing a technical degree program, taking courses to transfer to a 4-year college or university, or being a part of our national championship winning traditions, get a sharper focus on your life by choosing one of our 3 convenient locations: Alex City, Childersburg, and Talladega. Central Alabama Community College. Central to you, central to your success. This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Alex City Marine, the Lake Martin area's premier new and used boat and motor dealership. Find out more at alexcitymarine.com.
Welcome back into Sportz Blitz Live as Councilman Scott Hardy is feverishly scouring the internets for free tickets to the Iron Bowl. Good luck with that, Scott.
Oh, man.
That's what we do during a commercial break. I want to welcome in now our good friend Brett Pritchard. Brett, how's it going, bud?
It's going good. It is the season, right?
It is. It's Iron Bowl season. There's no doubt about it. Well, what are your thoughts right off the top regarding Gus Malzahn coming out and saying Cam Petway will play, but he got to be a little ambiguous about it. And is he 100%? Well, is anybody ever 100%? And Sean White and all that. Just fill us in.
Well, it's exactly what I thought you would hear today. You leave all the options on the table. You don't rule anything out, and every opponent you play, they prepare for your best. I mean, that just makes sense. So, Alabama's going to prepare as if Cameron Petway's in the game, and if he doesn't play, then that's even better for them because he's the best running back Auburn has, and if you prepare for the best, then if somebody else has to fill in that spot, then you're obviously prepared and you're okay. As far as Sean White's concerned, guys, I'm not too sure his career's not over. I mean, I'm not trying to be, Debbie Downer over here, but, I've heard a lot of inside information about this kid, and For him to adequately heal correctly would take at least 4 to 6 weeks. A lot of people feel like that this is going to require a pretty good surgery to repair it. And if he has the surgery, obviously, to do that, he may never be back to the level to compete at a high level in which you need to do, when you play week in and week out in the SEC. So I'm not buying the Sean White. If he goes out there, guys, I'm going to be shocked. And if he goes out there, I don't know really what he's going to be capable of doing. So Auburn is, defensively, I feel good about where the team is. Cameron Petway obviously won't be 100% coming off a quad injury, but, is 65 or 70% of Cam Petway better than 90% of somebody else? Probably so. So, you go with what you got out there. The problem is you don't really have an answer at quarterback. And we all know that in any level of football, if you don't have a good quarterback or a quarterback that can perform, you're really behind the 8 ball. And I just think Auburn's too deficient in that area going into this game. And I think ultimately it'll be the thing that takes Auburn out. And I feel like the defense will play really good, but they played really good against Georgia and only gave up 6 points, but we lost 13-7. So the defense can only do so much. You're going to have some help from the offense, and I just think it's too tall of a task to ask for this team this particular year.
Well, Brett, we spent all spring and all summer kind of speculating what type of season Auburn would have, whether or not Gus Malzahn would be coaching for his job. And obviously it looks like he's done enough to keep his job. But win or lose on Saturday, what are your overall thoughts on the season and kind of projecting what Auburn could potentially be going into next season?
Well, obviously, 8 wins on the season. They would finish the season at 8-4. Obviously, it's not the best results that we would hope for. It's definitely not the worst. I just look back on the beginning of the season and really disappointed in the game plan against Clemson. I thought Auburn, looking back on it now, was very capable of lining up and beating Clemson straight up without trying all that different kind of, running quarterbacks in and out and trying to keep them off balance. You just line up with who your best players are, and you go to work that night at home. And you take your chances that way. And I thought Auburn blew it against Georgia. I mean, Auburn could easily have 10 wins going into this game, with that one loss being against Texas A&M, because I'll give Texas A&M credit. That night they played really well. I thought our defense did well to hold them to 5 field goals, but still they were able to put 29 points on the board, and our offense couldn't really get anything going. But Auburn could easily be 10-1 going into this football game, and I think it's a year of missed opportunities again for Gus Malzahn. I read something this afternoon that said if Florida loses to Florida State, which that could easily happen this coming up Saturday, it looks like Auburn, regardless of what the outcome of the Iron Bowl is, could still end up going to the Sugar Bowl. And to me, that just kind of sums up college football this year, because there's just a lot of teams that are average out there, even into the top 4 outside of Alabama and what they've been able to do. The college football scene has just really been average. Nobody has really jumped off the page and kind of taken the reins outside of Alabama. And we saw last week, Luke, and feel free to chime in, I don't know if it was just lack of interest or just beat up and tired at this point in the season, but Alabama played a pretty below average first half, and they came out and did what they had to do in the second half against Chattanooga. But even Alabama showed that at times they're human too. So if Auburn goes to the Sugar Bowl, I think that's a nice reward, but it's a reward for an average season. And again, 8 wins is great. It's better than going 6-6 or having a below 500 record. But this team's better than that, and I think you're going to look back at the end of the year and say, this team could have been a lot better.
If Jeremy Johnson could lead this Auburn team to victory, where would you put him in the halls of Auburn greatness?
Well, I don't know if I'd put him in the hall of Auburn greatness. I would think it would be a fitting into a very up and down, crazy career for him. You know, Jeremy Johnson was, you know, going into last season predicted to be the odds-on favorite by a lot of people to win the Heisman Trophy. I mean, and to look to where he has gone to, and really obscurity and off the radar scene, and really not even a factor or an option for Auburn. Now back to possibly starting the Iron Bowl. It's been the most unbelievable roller coaster ride of any one person I can ever remember in college football. I mean, we all know how great he was in high school. Nobody has an answer to why his career took the turn it did between the end of 14 and the start of 15 last year. But, you know, how fitting. You know, this game has so many just great moments in it on both sides for Alabama and Auburn. And, you know, I think we all can agree, and, of course, obviously, Luke, you want Alabama to win, but, you know, we like to see good things happen to people that stay the course and are committed. And, you know, for Auburn fans, I think it would be one truly unbelievable story if Jeremy Johnson could come out and win that football game for them. And, you know, it would erase a lot of the inconsistencies that he's had since he's been at Auburn. It would be a story that would go down for the ages. But as far as him being somebody that you would stick in the Hall of Honor, I definitely don't think that would be the case.
Well, Brett, the rankings came out tonight very quickly. What did you think of that, and how do you think it'll end up with the Final Four? I know it's all we got to do is wait 2 weeks. I should probably just say let's just hang on, but I still want to get a prediction.
Well, you know, Michigan and Ohio State play each other. One of those teams is going to have 2 losses. I think Ohio State will win the game, so I think it'll knock Michigan out. I mean, then you look at a Wisconsin and, you know, and whoever else, a Washington team down there at the bottom. I mean, that's the thing. This kind of goes back to what I said originally. There's just a lot of average football teams this year. There's nobody there's not 2 or 3 or 4 teams that are just really outstanding this year outside of what Alabama's been able to prove so far. So it's really Alabama, and who else do you want in there? Because everybody's got blemishes on their record. And, you know, that just kind of shows Auburn fans how close they really were to being in this thing, really in the thick of it. And all they had to do was find a way to get out of that Georgia game alive, and they couldn't do it. But still, even in that same breath, still even being considered to play in the Sugar Bowl, which is kind of crazy because most years an 8-14 wouldn't sniff a Sugar Bowl. But that's just where we are with it. And, you know, Auburn moves up 3 spots. They go from 16 to 13. Again, kind of goes back to and gives credence to what I'm saying about college football this year. It's just been a bizarre year. I think Alabama will be 1. I think Clemson, if they can win out, will definitely be up there. Ohio State, and then I think it's a crapshoot for that 4th spot. I don't really know who the committee will end up putting in that spot. You know, Louisville, all they had to do was finish the season strong. They laid a tremendous egg against Houston and pretty much wiped their chances out, and they had it there for the taking. They should have probably stayed off Twitter and not complained as much and gotten ready to play that game, and it would have taken care of itself. But I like Alabama first. I like if Ohio State wins, them second, Clemson third, and then, like I said, I don't know who the 4th team will be.
Well, Brett, thanks so much for being with us this evening. We will talk to you soon, bud.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Brett Pritchard, of course, part of our team here at Sportz Blitz, and big Auburn supporter. Is he going to the game this weekend?
I don't believe so. He's not a fan. It looks like he'll probably be on the golf course. That's what he does. This is his annual
Get
golfing.
Away from the Iron Bowl,
this is
golfing outing.
Yeah. Brooke, I do want to address the Jeremy Johnson thing for a second. All right.
We'll address it when we come back. Justin's got to squeeze in these breaks.
Yeah.
You know, the Iron Bowl, we should just not have breaks. We should just talk. But we'll go ahead and take this break. We'll be back in just a minute with more Sportz Blitz.
Purchasing a new home is easier than you think, and America's Home Place can show you the way. For over 41 years, we've built thousands of homes for people just like you. We guide you through the entire process from purchasing a lot, finding financial options, to putting the finishing touches on your beautiful new house. Come tour our showroom and see over 100 customizable floor plans. Visit us online at americashomeplace.com/TV for a free floor plan book. America's Home Place. We make building easy.
Boaters in the Lake Martin area know whether you need service, maintenance, repairs, a great selection of pre-owned boats, or a brand new Landau pontoon. Alex City Marine at the corner of 63 and 280 is there for you. Thanks to a record-setting sales year, Alex City Marine now has one of the finest pre-owned inventories they've ever had. Repairs, service, routine maintenance, for all your boating needs. See the pros the locals know. Alex City Marine at the corner of 63 and 280. Check them out online at alexcitymarine.com.
If you knew that underage drinking starts at younger ages than ever before, even in elementary school, you would talk to your kids about drinking right now, wouldn't you? If you knew that kids who drink are more likely to be involved in violence, school failure, or injury, you'd do what you could to prevent it, right?
Alcohol is a drug, and we need you to help us understand that before it's too late. Choose to refuse to lose your team to the dangers of underage drinking.
Meet the new Met of East Central Alabama, David Chabot. By new Met, we mean MetLife Auto and Home. With MetLife's 146-year reputation and David's 18 years of local insurance experience, you and your family get the best coverage, rates, and service for auto, home, life, or business. Ask about MetLife's Grand Protect policy. If your home were destroyed by a covered loss, MetLife pays the full replacement cost. No depreciation and no cap. That's the peace of mind that only MetLife can deliver. Meet the new Met, David Chabot of MetLife Auto and Home, 334-321-7250 or davidchabot.metlife.com.
This Black Friday is going to be big.
Get game-busting deals all month long during the Black Friday sales event at Bice Motors.
Award-winning vehicles, hard-hitting savings.
BiceChryslerDodge.com. This is the sale you've been waiting for.
Score big and save all month long during the Black Friday sales event at Bice Motors.
Be a winner. Buy it from Bice.
Come see us in Alex City.
Choosing a new roof or having to repair your roof can be very stressful. Preferred Roofing knows when it comes to your roof, you need not only the best product, but more importantly, you need a reliable and trustworthy roofing company to install it. That company is Preferred Roofing. Working for both commercial and residential properties, you can trust our licensed and trained roofing contractors. Don't wait any longer. Call us today at 334-202-5483 or contact us on the web at preferredcontractorsllc.com.
This segment of Sportz Blitz is brought to you by Russell Do-It Center, offering a complete assortment of lumber, building materials, electrical, and plumbing supplies. Russell Do-It Center stores deliver first-class service, top-rate products, and competitive do-it-best pricing.
Little Sportz Blitz Live trivia for you. You might not have known this. That's actually Randy Lee that plays the electric guitar on our bumper music. Did you know that?
If that really was him, I don't know. I wouldn't doubt it, though. I'm sure he's listening to some tunes right now, actually, outside of watching sports.
Okay, you wanted to talk about your unrequited love for Jeremy Johnson.
No, I was just going to say, if Jeremy Johnson wins this game, like, I've never invested so much into a player's success. I've never been so – all my friends can attest. You can attest. The state of Alabama, across radio waves can attest. I loved this kid.
In that sense, he's kind of like your Enron, right?
He is my – oh, good call, though. That's pretty solid there. I like that. Not a lot of people go get that reference, but I'm down with that. But I just think this could stymie, or this would stymie any of the negativity or put a halt in the bad things you've had to encounter, the LSU play or just the jokes that he's had to encounter. I've cried one time in a sporting event my whole life. We lost to Opelika when I was in middle school as an 8th grader. Never cried, and I didn't really play a lot of sports after that, so that could have been the reason why. But outside of that, if Jeremy Johnson wins Saturday, and he plays well and wins, I might shed a tear. And I've made a lot of fun of people crying at sporting events. I will cry Saturday if Jeremy Johnson wins. Or I could cry if he loses. Either way, I think it just could be crying.
I'm crying. That's how it goes. We need to go ahead and take another quick break. We've been running long all show. We'll go ahead and take another break. When we come back, we'll talk more Iron Ball.
How expensive can kids really be? All they need is love, and love is free, right? They're tiny. How much stuff can they really use? I'm still gonna get a new car every year and take the best vacations. Maui, here we come.
Life can surprise you. So can an Allstate agent. Only they can get you 2 safe driving bonus checks a year because every little bit helps. The good hands are doing more than ever before.
Call your Alexander City Allstate agent, Alice Palmer, to learn more today at 256-215-3833.
Do you know that C&T Electric offers a home protection plan for your electrical system? Are you wondering what this is or why you need one? Just like your heating, cooling, and plumbing systems, your electrical system needs to be maintained also. With C&T Electric's home protection plan, you receive annual electrical safety inspections, priority service when you call, discounts on all electrical services, and the dispatch fee is waived on all calls. Call C&T Electric at 256-234-0007 today.
Got your eye on a new Nissan? It's time to zero in on huge savings at Lynch Nissan of Auburn. 0% financing is back in a big way on many of your favorite Nissan models, but only for a limited time. Buy today and save up to $11,000 off MSRP on remaining 2016s as we make room for the 2017s. Get up to $5,000 off MSRP on the new Rogue SL or 0% for 72 months. Just click it and pick it now at lynchnissan.com. Lynch Nissan of Auburn, I-85 at exit 51.
Hi.
We're looking for insurance.
Let's see who's free.
When insurance agents work for only one company, their options are simply limited. But a trusted choice independent agent is free to shop many companies for a better deal. Free to do what's right for you.
Did your team just win the big game? Are you looking for a unique way to honor a valuable employee? Lila's Engraving has you covered, offering a large selection of custom trophies and plaques. Lila's also offers cast aluminum car tags, custom engraved wine glasses, clocks, and wood cutting boards. They even offer custom framing for any art or picture as well. Lila's combines the best quality items with the fastest service around. With over 27 years of experience in the Alexander City and Lake Martin areas, Lila's Engraving is your only choice for custom awards and engraved gifts. Always remember, winners choose Lila's.
I'm attorney Dane Sharp. If you've been injured in an auto accident, don't choose an attorney simply because they have flashy television commercials and tons of billboards. Call a local attorney who can give your case the personal attention it needs and deserves. For over 20 years, I've handled hundreds of auto accidents, and I take pride in the personal service we provide and the results we obtain for our clients. So if you've been injured, give me a call today and put our team to work for you.
Justin's
and
on
Photoshop is the greatest thing ever.
It's scary what he can do with that computer, man.
That was 5 minutes ago, too. That just happened. So
that's hardcore. All right, well, Scott, look, deviate from the Iron Bowl for just a second because we had an interesting topic off air where we were talking about Kevin Sumlin for Texas A&M picked up a huge flipped commitment in Jamon Osmond, LSU's best wide receiver prospect. He switched his commitment from LSU to Texas A&M, and my first question was, why on earth would you commit to Texas A&M right now? I get decommitting from LSU. You have no idea who the next coach is going to be, and it could be Ed Orgeron, could be Tom Herman, could be Jimbo Fisher, could be somebody who's not even in the mix yet, could be Lane Kiffin, for all we know. So I get leaving LSU just because you don't know what's going on. You want to take a wait-and-see attitude. Why? Why on God's green would you switch to Kevin Sumlin and Texas A&M when it looks like he may get canned too? There's at least a rumor out there that Texas A&M is looking to make a change because they are fed up with making it undefeated till the middle of October and then falling on their faces. So I asked the question. You said you love him, Swagger, and I said, why do you love him? And you said?
What I said is that Kevin Sumlin's success is going to be a catalyst for other minority coaches to be able to get other job opportunities and ultimately retain those jobs. So Kevin Sumlin going 8-4, 9-3 every year, somewhere around there. I think that record, if Tom Herman could go to A&M and go 9-3 every year, and I think it'll be looked at differently than A&M going 9-3 every year.
It depends on what the 9
and it's
were.
the 9-3. That's true.
But now, and the other thing that you talked about was the race issue. And you look at Charlie Strong. Charlie Strong's at Texas, and he's not doing well.
He's not.
That's
a poor example. I can't use
and
that.
he's got to. I mean, they got to make a change. Texas is too big and too powerful to put up with losing to Kansas, a team they had lost to since 1939. So Texas probably needs to make a change. But your point was very valid, where you said Charlie Strong may not get another chance. Meanwhile, Will Muschamp is over at South Carolina just doing his thing, going 6-6. And that's a good point. But you know what? I thought, why on earth would South Carolina hire Will Muschamp too? I think the answer is they went after Tom Herman, couldn't get him, and then I forget who their second choice was, couldn't get him, and then they were like, oh my gosh, now we're scrambling. And they had to go with at least somebody that knew the SEC. But I get what you're saying, that if you are African American, you have more pressure. If something goes wrong, you may not get that other chance, or at least it seems that way. And I guess my only take on that would be, let's wait and see with Charlie Strong, because I get a feeling that was just a bad chemistry mix, Charlie Strong in Texas. I'd be willing to bet that after all the coaching carousel has stopped this season, Charlie Strong is a head coach somewhere else.
And I don't dispute that. I think my biggest thing was, and we've kind of touched on it before, but if the optics don't look that well for African-American coaches. It just doesn't look that well. So it's for, and now I was making a joke about Vandy, but they're probably go to a bowl game.
Yeah.
So that
6-5.
That changes things. But in reality, like somebody like Derek Mason going to Vandy, I almost hate for them to go to a school where the success level isn't going to be that high, or where you probably won't succeed, because you're going to be labeled as that coach. Is that boy you couldn't when you got your opportunity? And so the recycling, you can do the statistics and look at, the recycling of coaches in both NFL, more so on the collegiate level though, is appalling when you have so many other, I think, qualified coaches who just maybe they won't get the opportunity. But I think the way you address that is more so in the hiring of coordinators. There was a time where the defense has really dominated college football.
Yep.
And now it's transitioned into an offensive game, and you don't really have a lot of black offensive coordinators. So I'd say 90% of these hires at these big name schools will be offensive guys. And so I think that is a factor is involved as well. So I think once you start to see more minorities on the sidelines on coordinator positions, and not just necessarily position coaches, linebacker coach, receiver coach, if you get them the responsibility of actually calling a game schematically, then I think you transition them into getting more jobs. But ultimately, you got to win. So that's the thing.
And Justin Clayton, always on his game, just texted me that Kellen Mond, the quarterback commit for Texas A&M that was really looking at Auburn, it came down to those two schools, is good friends with Jamon Osborne, who is the wide receiver that just flipped his commitment. But my take on that would be, why is Kellen Mond committed? I would understand Kellen Mond decommitting more so than Jamon Osborne flipping to Texas A&M. And I get that you don't want to commit to Auburn right now either, because you don't really know what's going on there long term. I understand all that. I think it's just this could be an interesting situation. And also, Texas A&M is, most people believe, is the favorite to land Jarrett Stidham, the Baylor transfer. That could really shake things up. I mean, they had a transfer this year in Trevor Knight, and he was doing great until they got to Alabama.
Man, this kind of has me thinking now, too. And it's tough because you don't know exactly how scenarios could play out. But who do you think would have a black coach first, Auburn or Alabama?
That is an interesting call, and it's a trick question.
Yeah.
Because, it's not just that the timing has to be right. You can't go out. Auburn was right there, and Justin sent this text too, for Turner Gill, and that would have been a horrific mistake. But it's also got to be the right guy. And whoever it is for either school has got, is going to have to deal with some Alabama stuff, a stigma out there. I mean, it's just the way it's going to be. And it's going to have to be a really tough guy. It's going to have to be somebody with the mental fortitude of a, oh my gosh, why am I, Sylvester Croom. I think somebody with that mental fortitude, not necessarily that same coaching prowess. I mean, somebody who's maybe a better coach, but who can put up with a lot and understands that, I'm not going to take any gruff. And Charlie Strong could be one of those guys. I really think Charlie Strong is a good coach, and I think it's just a bad marriage. I hear people all the time talking about Rich Rodriguez, and yeah, things have tanked in Arizona, and it looks bad. I'm telling, and they say, gosh, I wish Rich Rodriguez had gone to Alabama. I'm telling you, I will always believe that if Rich Rod had come to Alabama, Alabama would have been okay. They wouldn't be where they are now. Let's not go crazy. Alabama couldn't hire anybody and be where they are now. But they would have been okay. They would have been your 9-3-ish, 10-2-ish, occasionally 11-1 team. I believe that. He would have had the athletes to choose from, and he recruited Pat White, if you remember, to West Virginia, and that guy was from Mobile and fabulous. And I think that it could have been a good thing for retro. Sometimes it's just about where you land, and it's about timing.
It is time. And that was kind of a weird question. I was just thinking I think more so about who would be more receptive, I think, to which fan base. But they're kind of similar along those lines in that regard, because I can remember the Turner-Gill days. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to say that I was a Turner-Gill supporter, but I did think that he wasn't going to get a fair chance. And part of there's a lot of politics involved in that too, because Charlie Strong, a lot of people have said the reason he won't get a SEC job is because he has a white wife. And so like those types of things maybe won't play as well as it would be somewhere else. But you can go to Texas, I guess you can make it anywhere.
Well, I'm going to say this about that. I think we've come to a day and age in college football where it's more about wins than it is about anything else in the business and the dollars and the cents. And if somebody makes a decision based on the ethnicity of somebody's spouse, that team probably ain't going to win anyway long term. They're looking at the wrong things, and they're going to slip up somewhere very, very easily. So I think that's going to be a problem for somebody else. I don't think Alabama or Auburn, for that matter, would make that mistake, meaning bypass perfectly good black head coach because they're worried about whatever. I think now winning is important enough where they'll say, we don't care. Just come on.
Absolutely.
And at least you hope that's what it's all about. And that's what it always should be about, but it's taken a long time to get there.
Well, I can tell the temperament in the hiring process when they ultimately hired Gene Chizik to now the climate and environment is so much different now than it was then. So those types of issues wouldn't be as existing. But that was one of the things why Charlie Strong stayed as a defensive coordinator at Florida as long as he did, was because job openings were available, but he was kind of stymied by that. But I'm with you. I think Charlie Strong comes back, and it is about the person. That was just a bad fit from the beginning, and ultimately Tom Herman's just go ddictate wherever he wants to go.
And you know what's funny is Tom Herman will probably come in and go 8-4, 9-3, and everybody's going to throw him a parade. I mean, it's going to be funny. I mean, he better. I hope Texas isn't going to evaluate Tom Herman based on Nick Saban, but I'm afraid they're probably going to. And if they do that, he's going to ultimately fail. You've got to do your own thing. And if Tom Herman is allowed to do his own thing, I think he'll be successful. Just now, are we on a break? We'll go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about this game, who we think the heroes could be, and what has to happen for both teams to win. We'll be back in just a minute with more Sportz Blitz Live.
Purchasing a new home is easier than you think, and America's Home Place can show you the way. For over 41 years, we've built thousands of homes for people just like you. We guide you through the entire process, from purchasing a lot, finding financial options, to putting the finishing touches on your beautiful new house. Come tour our showroom and see over 100 customizable floor plans. Visit us online at americashomeplace.com/TV for a free floor plan book. America's Home Place. We make building easy.
Russell Do-It Center and Russell Building Supply is locally owned and operated with over 30 years experience providing a wide array of lumber, building materials, hardware, electrical and plumbing supplies, paint, tools, and garden products. Our employees' superior product knowledge and top-notch customer service allows us to help select the best products that will work for you. We provide free product estimates and takeoffs, free local delivery, and ask about our price match promise. Russell Do-It Center and Russell Building Supply. Experience and knowledge from the pros.
Excitement awaits you on beautiful Lake Martin. Alex City Guide Service can provide you with a charter trip of a lifetime. Licensed charter guide David Hare has over 20 years of experience on Lake Martin, specializing in live bait fishing for trophy-sized saltwater striped bass, largemouth bass, and spotted bass. Call Alex City Guide Service today at 256-401-3089 or visit them online at www.alexcityguideservice.com.
Your comfort is our number one concern. Advanced Heat and Air.
Advanced Heating and Air makes your comfort their priority for any season. Advanced Heating and Air is the region's train dealer and an Alabama Power Superior Solutions dealer that can save you money and energy with a new electric heat pump. Advanced Heating and Air maintains the region's best service team, so rely on us to make your comfort our number one concern. Call 234-5052, and we're there for you.
Gotta get to Gill's Auto Sales. We can finance, you got to get to Gill's. Selection and price, got to get to Gill's. Gotta get to Gill's.
Did you know that Gill's Auto Sales now features the Prestige Selection at their North Lake and Opelika locations? Gill's Auto Sales now has over 100 Prestige vehicles in stock. Newer models, low mileage with bank financing available. Come see the Prestige Selection at Gill's Auto Sales North Lake location and their new Opelika location. Gotta get to Gill's.
Yamaha is beating the field in just about every category of motorsport products, offering unbelievable performance, handling, features, technology, and at prices that are blowing everyone's mind, especially the competition. Visit Twin City Yamaha on Stage Road in Auburn.
Hi, this is Scott Tway with Twin Cities Yamaha in Auburn. Isn't it about time to put some fun back in your life? Call us and see what we mean. 334-821-0439 or on the web at www.twincitiesyamaha.com.
Welcome back into Sportz Blitz Live. All right, Scott, tell me why Auburn's going to win.
I can't repeat why I said that, but I just, the climate of 2016 has been the abnormal. Things that you thought would never happen have occurred, whether it be politically, whether it be politically.
Mostly politically.
No, I was making a joke. If Trump could win, Auburn could win. That was kind of what I thought there. But having said that, just my overall.
Y'all gonna build a wall around the 20-yard line?
Man, that's the only thing we'll be able to do. Man, that's why, I'm telling you, Luke's good. You can't start anything with Luke. Anybody that wants to ever try to test Luke, I've learned my lessons that he's too quick and witty to get you. But 3 minutes. Okay, I thought we had a line 3.
All right, so to give me your prediction, how about that?
My honest prediction is like 23-10 Alabama.
Okay.
I just don't think that Auburn can score enough to be able to do enough to win the game, actually. But in terms of defense, I don't think that Alabama's going to score more than 14. I think Alabama's defense probably has a touchdown or does something that creates a turnover. They get an easy field position score. So I think in terms of just scoring, Alabama won't just drive the ball down the field on Auburn consistently. But Auburn can't score enough points to stay with them. So I think it'll be like the Clemson game, honestly, just without the quarterback carousel.
All right, on the podcast I do, Talking Tuscaloosa, Jimmy Stein and I made our predictions. I predicted 30-27 Alabama, and Auburn has 9 field goals. And I only said 30 Alabama because Auburn hadn't given up 30 all year, and I just want to make you mad.
Yeah, I could see it really being something where, like, I make a joke about it. Like, anytime we'd cross the 50, I was like, well, that's 3 points. And so that is in terms that from a field position standpoint, if Auburn, you're right, if they get around the 38, 42-yard line in that realm, he can kick 55 plus. So that could be the savior for Auburn, and maybe Auburn turns it into a field goal game, and maybe it's 20-17 or maybe it's 17-17 going to the fourth quarter, and then it's anybody's game at that point. Man, everybody, please check out your screen. I love Justin Clayton, and that's what it'll be on Saturday. Nobody deserves a more fitting ending to a career than Jeremy Johnson.
A fitting ending
if he
would
were
actually
to
be if he threw 6 pick sixes.
No,
but a redemptive ending would be if he were to win this game. Fitting, Scott, his whole career has been nothing but potential.
It's a mirage, I think. Really, I think he may end up being a tremendous pro. Is the crazy thing.
I think he's the best shot at a pro quarterback on Auburn's roster because of he's got the prototypical height.
Would you leave? What would you maybe not go to the pro?
Who? Jeremy Johnson?
And maybe go to do a 5th year graduation program or something. Would anybody want him? Maybe, I don't know, but I think he could go somewhere else and thrive. Sometimes just toxic environment.
He's used up all his eligibility, has he not?
He didn't get redshirted.
I think he's used up his eligibility. I think
Do you
this
not
is
get
it.
5 years?
No, you get 4 years.
But Russell Wilson spent 4 years at Wisconsin.
I think he redshirted at NC State, and then he could graduate. He graduated, so he was able to.
But if you do a master's, I thought if you did a master's program.
Okay, we've got to listen.
We got to figure this out on that. I thought he could maybe do some graduate 5th year program or something.
All right, that's it. We enjoyed it. See you after the Iron Bowl. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
For years, textile was king here, the backbone of our economy. But textile and all the jobs left, our region was threatened. Then the nearby Hyundai plant opened. Local parts suppliers created thousands of good-paying jobs. Automotive's now the backbone of our economy, thanks to Hyundai. At Hyundai of Auburn this week, 0%, no payments for 6 months, $149 leases, and $4,000 cash back. Great cars built by our friends and neighbors. Hyundai of Auburn, you really should compare.
Show Enough Barbecue. Since 1990, we've been serving you the finest barbecue in Alexander City. Gerald believes in cooking fresh meat daily, and the secret to that is, I'm not going to tell you. Show Enough is just not about barbecue, but also known for fresh vegetables and homemade pies. That's where I come in. I'm Linda Sanford, better known as the Pie Lady. We also do catering. For more information, give us a call at 234-7675.
Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. At Walls, you'll find a dedicated staff offering top quality service from routine maintenance to a full engine overhaul and everything in between. Brian Walls and the folks at Walls Tire are local folks that you know, and they provide the best service always at a fair price. Find out what the rest of the Lake Martin area already knows. Walls Tire is the Lake Martin area's complete automotive solution. Just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
There is a strength inside you, unknown and imperfect, waiting. And when you think you have nothing left to give, when each obstacle in your path is more formidable than the last, that's when you'll find it. And with that strength, your greatness will have no limits.
We are Steel, German-engineered chainsaws and landscape products.
The majority of which are made here in America by Americans.
And exported to over 90 countries around the world.
Find out why Steel is #1 in America at steelusa.com.
Find your Steel outdoor products and more at the new Satterfield Outdoor Living on Highway 280 in Alex City.
This Black Friday is going to be big.
Get game-busting deals all month long during the Black Friday sales event at Bice Motors.
Award-winning vehicles, hard-hitting savings.
BiceChryslerDodge.com. This is the sale you've been waiting for.
Score big and save all month long during the Black Friday sales event at Bice Motors.
Be a winner. Buy it from Bice.
Come see us in Alex City.
win over Gaston City. You're tied at 7 for a long time. You recover a fumble in the end zone to go ahead. And then in the second half, you hold Gaston City to 1 first down and a total of 4 yards. Just talk about that win.
Well, I mean, I think the biggest thing is coming into the game, we knew how explosive they were offensively. So we knew we had to play well defensively. You know, it was kind of a battle of field positions early. We threw a couple of interceptions, but it really, you know, it was one of those deals where I think we kind of got a little bit antsy. Once we crossed the 50, tried to take a couple of shots. They changed coverage a couple of times on us, so we turned the ball over. We should have had an opportunity to score more points in the first half. We had a pick six that was called back, negated by a penalty. But then we come back to the second half, and we really didn't say a whole lot. I mean, it was just kind of like, hey, look, man, 0-0. You know, we knew we wanted to be back to this spot. You know, this is big for our kids. And, you know, we came out. They botched a snap on the punt, and we got a touchdown there, and then just kind of forced our will on them. You know, we got them out of their element, made them have to throw the ball a little bit, so we got a couple of turnovers, and offensively we just kind of took over. I think we rushed for 183 yards in the second half, ended up with 24 first downs. So anytime you can do that, use time of possession, but, you know, not turn the ball over, and we didn't do that in the second half and played good defense. So you're going to have an opportunity to win.
This is Hoover's 8th trip to the finals in the last 9 years and going for the 10th state title since 2000. What do you attribute this consistent success to?
Well, just, you know, it's just a standard within our program. You know, everybody talks about a process, but we talk about the standard. You know, it's both on the field and off, and I think it's the character of your group, the character of your team, because the makeup of your team is going to be different every year, but the culture you set's got to be the same. And it's a blue-collar mentality. You know, we try to surround ourselves with kids that want to be committed to doing the right things, make the right decisions both on the field and off, that work extremely hard. And I think when you do that year in and year out, it doesn't matter what athlete comes through. You know, it's about unity through diversity, and we talk about that all the time.
Talk about your leaders coming into tonight's game.
Well, you know, number one's probably Colby Coleman Abrams, our middle linebacker. You know, he's a quarterback, and he's a 2-year starter for us, but he's a kid the kids really look up to and respect. Ricky Paleo up front in our D-line, you know, has always been a leader for us. He's been a great player for us also. And, you know, on the back end, you got guys like Ben Abercrombie and Jaden Jordan. KJ Vaught's a leader for us at linebacker. On the offensive side, Cortez Hall, who's our number one receiver, has been a leader for us. And Garrett Farquhar, you know, our quarterback. So, you know, we're really blessed to have good players, but also really blessed to have players that step up and do the right things for the right things. So, you know, leadership's key.
What does Hoover need to do tonight, offensively and defensively, to win this game?
Well, I think anytime you're playing big-time games, it's all about taking care of the football and see if you can get some takeaways. You know, I think defensively you got to keep the ball in front of you. You know, McGill does a really good job of taking shots on you. You know, when they get an opportunity, they're going to try to stretch you vertically. You got to keep the ball in front, and then when we do keep it in front, then you got to be able to tackle. So, you know, and then figure out a way to get some takeaways. You know, their quarterback's a really good player. He wants to pull it down and run, so you got to stay in your rush lanes. You got to push the pocket, keep him in the pocket. And then, you know, offensively is you got to be physical. You got to play physical. Get a moment to throw the ball around. You got to throw it when you want to, not when you have to. But they're very sound on special teams, so we'll have to be very sound. We got to play smart, and we got to make sure we do things that are characteristic of who we are.
Okay, Coach Ross, first talk about defeating a tough Central Phoenix City team, 35-21, to advance to Auburn tonight.
Well, you know, we knew we had a tough battle. They were one of the best teams we had seen on tape. They had a really, really good football team. You know, provided a lot of challenges for us. They were really fast on defense, very explosive on offense. We thought they had one of the best quarterbacks in state, best running backs in state, and one of the best receivers. You know, who's a junior, going to be a senior next year in the state. But you know, our kids, man, they really stood up for the challenge. They were competitive all night. They were dialed in. And, man, we hit big play after big play and made key stops, and just very proud of what our boys accomplished.
Coach, you've won 22 straight games and 28 of 29 since that loss to Murphy 2 years ago. What do you attribute to the team's success the past 2 years?
You know, they're just competitors, and they had a lot of character. You know, a couple of years ago, our program, we were 2-6, and we'd gotten beat by Murphy, and probably as low as I'd ever been low as a coach, you know, in this whole profession. But you know, just something kept telling me just to believe. You kept selling that message to the kids. They believed in it, and it turned. And then once you got the momentum going, the kids had confidence. And they just that we have some great kids that love to go compete, and they started believing. And it shows when you got good, talented kids who believe it, they can go accomplish a lot.
Talk about some of your leaders on this team.
Probably starts, I'll say defensively, Carlton Marshall. Man, he is, to me, he's a great talented player. He was Coastal Defensive Player of the Year last year. I think he was a finalist for the 7A Lineman of the Year. He's having another phenomenal year. But to me, he's the captain of the football team. He's the emotional leader. He's a great kid. I mean, he's everything you want in a football player. He's been a great leader. You look at guys like Brandon Hinton on our offense, who's also a very emotional leader. Nick Long on the offensive line. Trey Bendoff in the secondary. DeAnthony Washington up front. Marlon Williams has been a good leader for us. Trey Roberson. Man, we've had a lot of guys that have provided leadership. This is a very talented, special group of seniors. We've known that for a couple of years now. And, they've done their part. They've got us here, so we got to go finish now.
What does McGill need to do tonight, offensively and defensively, to win this game?
Well, we got to find a way to move the football. Hoover's defense is incredible. It's one of the best defenses I've ever seen as a coach. Got to find a way to move the football. Got to find a way to put points on the board. They're just not giving up very many. And then we can't let them have any big plays. We got to be good in special teams. Hoover's phenomenal in special teams. We can't give up a block punt. We can't give up a big kick return. You got to hope to go create your own explosive plays in the special teams, but you at least got to play them to a draw in special teams. You can't give up anything there. To me, that's the key.
Okay, here with Coach Josh Niblett from the Hoover Buccaneers. Coach.
If you currently have an FHA mortgage, this commercial is for you. Most people that currently have an FHA mortgage are working with Home Place Mortgage to refinance their current loan. Several items have changed to make now the perfect time to refinance. FHA has reduced the amount of monthly mortgage insurance. Current interest rates for FHA loans are at all-time lows. FHA has eliminated the need for new appraisal. Most people will be able to refinance with little or no closing costs. This is the opportunity that you have been waiting for. Call now to start saving.
Over the years, S&S Tire has grown into the Lake Martin area's largest volume tire dealer. S&S Tire offers the industry's best brand names: Michelin, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Uniroyal, Firestone, and much, much more. The tire pros at S&S offer professional installation and the region's best price. In addition to your tire needs, S&S offers full automotive mechanical work for all your vehicle maintenance and repair needs with the area's most experienced staff. Visit either of our 2 locations on Cherokee Road in Ellick City or at South Street in Dadeville. At S&S Tire, we're installing peace of mind for every customer we serve. Every job, every day.
When you need plumbing service, call on the professionals at A&M Plumbing LLC. For over 20 years, our mission has been to provide the best possible service available in the industry, and we specialize in solving difficult problems. We offer a wide range of services, such as installation, service, repair, and replacement of common fixtures, water heaters, toilets, faucets, drains, sewer lines, and septic tank pumping and cleaning services. Unlike many companies, our septic tank services include field line testing. Our knowledgeable staff will be happy to answer any of your questions. So call A&M Plumbing LLC today.
There is a strength inside you, unknown and imperfect, waiting. And when you think you have nothing left to give, when each obstacle in your path is more formidable than the last, that's when you'll find it. And with that strength, your greatness will have no limits.
What value would you gain working with Lee Marketing Group? With 4 divisions under one umbrella, SignSource, Lee Apparel, R&B Media, and LMG Baker Advertising Agency, Lee Marketing Group offers a comprehensive approach. From logo design and branding to ad placement and everything in between, LMG can handle it all. For ease of time, cutting-edge, results-driven marketing campaigns, think LMG. Lee Marketing Group, your comprehensive marketing solution.
Show Enough Barbecue. Since 1990, we've been serving you the finest barbecue in Alexander City. Gerald believes in cooking fresh meat daily, and the secret to that is, I'm not going to tell you. Show Enough is just not about barbecue, but also known for fresh vegetables and homemade pies. That's where I come in. I'm Linda Sanford, better known as the Pie Lady. We also do catering. For more information, give us a call at 234-7675.
No pest is too big or too small for Lex Wedgeworth Pest Control. Protect your home or business today from insects, termites, mosquitoes, and more. Lex uses only the latest state-of-the-art technology and equipment to solve your pest problem, including the environmentally friendly Centricon termite baiting system. Lex has been servicing the Lake Martin area for over 35 years, and he has a full staff on hand. Call Lex today, even if it's just a question. 256-234-6162. Lex Wedgeworth Pest Control. Smart solutions to your pest problems.